car, he's going to make a run, and Allmendinger is going to take him all the way to the grass on the block.
Yeah, and I think Allmendinger, I think AJ felt like, okay, I'm this far down. He's not going to be there now.
And I mean, right in front of Mark Martin and Biffle. Who's that? Is that Truex in there too?
Yeah, Truex is in there.
Yeah.
Here's a 39 that we saw come off of turn 3, just in the gas.
Oh, Ambrose hit the inside guard.
This time.
It's hard to figure.
Trouble. Hornish out of trouble. He hits the wall.
Big wreck behind us. Come to the line.
And there goes
Come on. You're clear. Come on.
The leader did not take the white flag, meaning we will get a green-white checker finish.
There ain't anybody to have a green-white checkered finish with.
Green. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Hey, look at that.
Head on into that Armco.
That's down in a 90-degree.
End up the day in your hometown.
Got a little help, looks like, maybe from Drew Herring.
Was close. Drew Herring does a nice job of missing him. I'm not sure if there was contact there, if he was just up in that gray area where there's not a lot of grip.
Into the wall.
Yeah, look at
Not sure why Allmendinger was so far down on the racetrack.
That's brutal right there, man. That is a hard lick.
Everything they can, and they're trying to bump draft on this straightaway too.
Yeah, they're just trying to push there, and probably just a little bit too much of a push.
Wow, do you see Reed Sorensen's car came off the ground?
47 car back and forth, bucking like a Bronco on left tires and right side tires.
A really bad wreck for Richard Petty Motorsports. Every one of his cars. Right there, all 4 of them involved. Yeah. 3 of them piled up in a pile there for a while.
And boxed right here as they try to go 3
wide. 4 wide. Stewart slid. Gordon's hard into the wall. There's Edwards. Allmendinger.
Oh, no, what a mess.
Gordon and Stewart, and then cars trying to sweep by on the outside. Menard, Montoya, McMurray, Harvick.
Still there. Inside lineable. Hold your line.
Oh, whoa, trouble. Contact. Looks like Biffle trying to hang on to it.
Keep spinning it.
Whoa.
Still coming at you.
No, and Sadler's into the wall.
Except for just tore your nose off. Wrecked pretty good, guys. We got front end damage. He'll try to drive another garage.
Oh, look out!
Trouble.
Contact! Hornish! Bumped by Reagan around in turn 4. Michael Annette slams the inside wall.
They were lined up.
Getting into the chase. There, the 44 of Brian Scott is sideways. Saves it coming off of 2, but then looks as though Kyle Larson may have been in the back of him when he came off of 2. And there's the heavy contact.
Yeah, and you saw the backfire out of the tailpipes of the 44 as he was trying to save the car. It looked like he was maybe on and off the throttle. His speed probably reduced. The 42 is right behind him. You see the safer barrier doing a good job absorbing some of the impact there.
When a car gets that slow in front of you, you can be all the way off the gas and you're still pushing them. You know, Kyle Larson looked to be in the back of him, but all the trouble started, and Kyle just couldn't get slowed down.
A little bit of damage to the front end of 10 of Danica Patrick, but a lot of damage to Chris Buescher's number.
We've seen this.
got together.
Yeah, we have. We've seen this time and time again. You see the splitter makes huge contact with the grass. The car starts to bounce. Luckily, it lands on all 4 and just continues to spin. But we've seen this. The 9 goes to make a move, looks for that inside line, wasn't clear of the 1, drives across his nose, ends up spinning through the grass.
Tore the splitter completely off when it grabbed the grass initially. And then once again, hit hard and up into the air. A wild ride for Sam Hornish Jr.
He's still driving it. Look at those hands. Still driving it.
And listen, I know I make it sound simple that he drives across the 1, but Sam Hornish is trying to go forward. He's not changing lanes to get out of the way. He's changing lanes to try to get in the right lane and try to make something.
Will end the race. Oh, around goes Newman. Newman up into Logano. 5 cars into the wall. 7. Caution.
Caution is out. The race is not complete. Not complete.
Had to get to the white flag to be complete.
2 worst turns. They did good through them.
Good contact there. Michael Annette going around. And more behind him. Max Pappas is spun.
43, Regan Smith.
Oh, my gosh. That's
Losing a right
shot
front.
up the hill.
Now, he was 14th.
14 involved.
Just as it comes down the backstretch, I know the 14 I'm not sure if he's unhappy with the 31 or if he's trying to protect the position, but he just continues to come from the high lane down to the low lane, and the 31 has nowhere to go. Ryan Newman, you heard him even play with the throw.
Boom, right there. That shoots him in the mark, and when it did, it just got him out of control.
Because when he came off Mark Martin, the second contact from Gordon, Kane wasn't pointing straight anymore.
No.
Agree. But that was right down in the middle of the corner.
Montoya there. Well, actually, it's not even part of it. It's just a stack up there with the 96.
Yeah, but Menard, Sorensen, Sadler, and Waltrip. That's the.
No brakes. Not a fan of this, Rick. I've seen this before. Jeff Gordon and I were here. We had a brake failure. He took that same.
And a bump there by the 48. The back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher, 23-year-old out of Prosper, Texas, was involved. Also that.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was just bad from the get-go. That's just too many cars and not enough space going into the corner.
Eric Almirola turned into Alex Bowman, and it's on.
It just doesn't take a whole lot, you know, and especially if that front bumper hits the rear bumper in the wrong spot. And first he got him pretty good. You know, Christopher Bell got his front bumper to the rear bumper of Almirola on the left side. That turned him sideways, but then unfortunately as he moved back
Which
and
is,
forth,
at this point in the racetrack, it's really no excuse for misjudging in something like that, or he got upset thinking Scott should have given him the space and ended up getting into Brian Scott. So either way, certainly on Tony Stewart's shoulders.
Tony Stewart running
where the 5 car was, but it's like Denny came down across the hood, and the 11 and the 18 really looked like they got together more so than the 5 car involved. That 9 car took a tough hit, and all these guys had no place to go because they're
slide during this run. Tire trouble there, it looks like, for the 43.
Oh,
and just nowhere to go.
And Carl, you know you can't cut that thing to the left. You're committed to the high side. There just was no way for Cook to make his way under Jeb.
It's kind of a D-cell area, too. There's just nothing you can do. I mean, that's and when the 43 car.
Jimmy Johnson got out of shape first there. It saves it. And right behind him, everybody starts getting together. Looks like Tony Stewart forces Allmendinger upside down.
Boy, and that, thank goodness, the safer barriers on that inside wall.
Yeah, and we've seen in past that when something happens behind the leaders that NASCAR.
Very similar situation.
good, pretty good front impact there with Brian Scott. Lifts the rear tires off the ground.
Let's go back. Down at turn 1, the fastest part of the racetrack.
See the smoke started to come out of the left front, and then the car just went straight into the wall.
It's a very hard hit.
Yes.
Push from him. Oh, trouble. Harvick's around.
Oh, got spun on the backside by the 43.
How many is it going to collect?
Hold the brake.
Oh, what a vicious crash. Eric McClure. The 34 car he was tangled up
38,
with.
I believe.
38,
maybe.
David Gilliland.
Yeah, just not quite clear.
That was a race for 26 with Harvick behind him. Oh, there's contact.
Get out of you now.
Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Watch it out.
And a huge wreck.
That's Elliott Sadler that he's pushing, gets him a little bit loose and goes up and clips the left rear of the 3 of Austin Dillon.
See, Dillon got it from both sides. Hit the wall pretty hard. And looked like Jeffrey Earnhardt came up the racetrack right there on his left side.
See the damage to the 43 as he turned and sent him head on into the wall with the hard
Stand in a grip, you know, you have to trust that the car, even I mean, they just, the 21, the 18.
So we've had a lot of laps without
16 got his damage from. You see the 16 back here. I think he, there he is. Oh, it's where they come up. 43 gets
43
right.
hit him hard.
Wow, and that car went up a little bit, and that's about it. And then he took a hard hit in the door.
Look what it did to that.
Two's out of the gas. Loose. I don't think the 37 touched him. Bubba had nowhere to go.
There's times there's just nothing you can do.
A big run was coming from that push from William Byron to the 34 McDowell as they're still spinning and wrecking into the wall.
Whoa!
No,
Johnson's out of it.
Big wreck.
Can't go.
Big wreck going to happen here on the front
no,
straightaway.
Man! You are kidding me?
Look at who came out. You see, connects to the rear bumper, Ryan Blaney, and he tries to jump out to pass him, but they were still connected and made contact. Blaney actually got pretty lucky to come out of it the way he did, but unfortunately, it turned Bubba sideways.
Michael McDowell is collected, and behind them, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, and more.
Oh, Denny Hamlin not going to get this one back.
Hard into the wall behind him. Matt Kenseth, Menard, Vickers, and more. Look at this pileup.
Only Stewart in the middle of that.
Look at this right here. Left rear tire comes off the car 180 miles an hour.
Like the wheel and everything came off the car.
Yes.
Maybe you had a loose wheel trying to soldier home.
But these cars now, they have actually components on there where you can adjust the toe and the camber. We hear about the inspection station all the time. So there's a lot more components that get bolted on that normally used to be welded solid. I don't know if that's what happened, but obviously a huge mechanical failure. The 43 completely out of control, nothing he could do.
Guys, I saw the hub still on that wheel.
Yes, everything was attached. Very fortunate that's on the back stretch because of where that tire may go, right? There's no stands back there. There's no.
Here's McMurray.
Yeah, Keselowski in the 2 just drove underneath Casey Kane in the 5. Just nowhere to go.
Watch Tony Stewart there. He just worked his way right back. Keselowski missed that wreck by inches.
Boy, Almirola came up the track.
Bubba Wallace, door dash camera.
Hard on the bottom. Down. Son of a bitch.
No, I mean, nothing he could do, right? I mean, Jeff, that's
Yeah,
just,
there's nothing
you know.
Sometimes
Every recent restart, Casey Kane is at it.
Oh, trouble, front straightaway. 3 wide and 2 cars pile hard into the wall.
That's a terrible wreck. Mark Martin got into the, I think it was maybe the 43 of Almirola. They came together, and that
got a
Great
big
move.
shove.
Yeah, it was a great move, but there's no organization.
Oh, he could get turned.
Sideways.
Into the wall he goes.
Wrecking behind you here.
Bubba Wallace into the wall, and the caution has come out. There'll be a third overtime.
Bubba went up there at the track.
Still top of 3, top of 2.
You heard him right there when the 11 slid up in front of him. He had to lift a little bit. The 33 wasn't anticipating that and got into the left rear, and that's what caused that.
That forces the 18 up the racetrack. He just loses control. His race car slides up, maybe touches the 12 a little bit, spins around, and now he's just at the mercy of everybody behind him.
Getting crowded up there at the front right now with the 42. Oh,
Whoa,
trouble.
big crash. Danica Patrick and Joey Logano and Eric Almirola.
Holy smoly. Oh, heavy damage there on Danica.
Oh, he just gets loose and he's nowhere to go.
Oh, wow.
And that's a moment.
Here's the ham cam on Almirola's car.
Boy, say hi.
Yeah, so he tried to straighten up the entry. I mean, that's the same thing that happened to him at Pocono. And so you know, your instincts are to aim left and try to, go through the grass and slow the car down some way, somehow. And he did a great job staying out of the wall with the issue he had. But without brakes, he can't stop the car as he's rolling down in front of oncoming traffic. Typically, he would have been on the brakes and be able to stop the car and stop that accident there from happening.
When you're that far back like Boyer is there, you don't see everything that's happening there. all of a sudden it's right in front of you. Brakes don't do much good at that point in time.
The cost of a penalty.
Yes.
Kyle Busch from leading, speeding on pit road.
Side draft to 17. Oh, did he and the 17 touch a little bit here? Yes. It looked like Kurt thought he could get clear and get down in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Just wasn't quite there yet.
And Jamie McMurray in his final 500 could not avoid.
There it goes.
Goes right back to the pit stops again, right back to the pit crews with 16 laps of their tires. All the leaders will be coming to pit road, and here they turn off the banking in 3 and 4. They're entering the pit road.
Momentum, the key when you go through turn 3 because you have such a long straightaway as Kenseth sideways in front of the field. They're piling up behind him.
Well, Matt Kenseth got by with that, I believe. He never.
This is from Jeff Gordon.
Oh, man, looked like something happened to that car.
Like a left front tire.
It's a big shot. Big shot.
Oh. So nobody in front. Spinning in front of you. We got it, guys. We got it.
Oh, 22 coming back.
As he enters turn 1, the car starts to turn and then just goes straight at that point. It stopped turning, it's heading up the racetrack, he gets into the wall, and much like you said, Jeff, it's the angle of the impact, you know, at a big rounder track like a Charlotte.
They exit turn 3.
Yeah, the 43's passing the 32, and it looks to me like the 43 just expects the 32 to give him the lane. The 32 doesn't. He stays in the gas on the corner exit. The 43 makes
Eric, have to slow down just a little bit. David Reagan doesn't anticipate it. Just pulls the nose off the front of the car. Major damage for 2 cars just bumping into each other. I mean, you know, no.